from Slack or by other means, or contact us, we will try to answer it. So let me share my screen real quick. So as I said, we are in the Slingshot competition. We are almost 2 weeks in. There is like 2 hours left for the full 14 days. And yeah, we just crossed our 100 terabyte. We reached our 100 terabyte milestone. Sorry about that. We reached our 100 terabyte milestone sometime late yesterday. And many congratulations to all the teams participating and continuing to upload data. Particularly, I want to call out the teams who kept working through our troubles that we had on the network in the past several days. And I'll touch a little bit on this in a moment. So yeah, let's see. Do we have any? Hold on, my screen rearranged in a very weird way. There we go. Okay, cool. So far so good. So let me keep talking through a little bit. The numbers are not that different from last time in terms of averages. We're still at about 300 gigabytes average data per participant. The deal size is a little bit increased. Of course, the amount of storage deals and the amount of data is steadily going up. We did have a few hiccups in general with our network state of fees. In fact, you can see it here in this little chart. But as you can see, we figured out a number of solutions and we got a handle of it. It went down dramatically. There is actually a little pickup this morning again, but we're on top of it, and there are a number of adjustments to like tweaks of the small sets of incentives that are part of the space race competition, which is still ongoing until mainnet, and they seem to be effective. So essentially what this graph is that when this thing that we call base fee goes up, this means that the network is congested and we are having difficulty as clients sending our deals for miners to accept them. It's actually not even the clients themselves that are having a problem, it is the miners that need to do a few additional steps when they accept a deal, and when the base fee is high, it is a little bit difficult for them to do that. We also had a number of folks ask us about variation in this number here. This is caused by a number of factors, one of which is that when a deal is included in a sector which is faulted temporarily for whatever reason, our dashboard currently is not reflecting this correctly. We're still working out some things, but hopefully by end of today / tomorrow, the numbers will actually be reflective of what is really stored in this competition. So the number is relatively accurate, but it is not 100%, and we are working hard to get to the the real state of the deal, so to speak. So yeah, let's see. What else is there to cover? We are having a very important upgrade that is coming down the pipes today and tomorrow. So today, by the end of October 7th, Pacific time, we should have available the final version of Lotus 0.9.0, which includes consensus breaking change that includes a number of very, very, very important improvements to both clients and miners. There are a number of improvements in how we handle base fee variations. There is a number of improvements to handling sector restarts. There are actually better and more thought through and more affordable penalties for miners when they fault a sector for the first time. There is a lot of stuff, and it's all going to be detailed in the changelog. The important thing about this update is that it is consensus breaking, which means that if you are running your own node, own Lotus node, or you have somebody run it for you, they need to upgrade before 8 in the morning UTC on Friday this week. So Friday the 9th, 8 UTC is when the chain will start honoring the new way of doing things in terms of spec actors and all these little tweaks for the for the penalties and so on and so forth. So if you haven't upgraded until then, you essentially will get stuck on an older, not on an older, on an alternative chain where everybody who hasn't upgraded will remain, and you will not be able to participate in our competition anymore. So it's very important to upgrade. And we hope, and so far all the indications are in place, that this is our last major update on the way to mainnet. No promises, of course, because we're still rapidly developing things, and as you saw our little chart from the last weekend, we still have a few things to work out here and there, but in general the network is looking great, and yeah, we're excited to sail right into mainnet, hopefully by mid next week. Yeah. Let's see. Let me check if we have anything on Slack. It doesn't seem to be the case. Right. So I talked about the upgrade. I talked about mainnet, obviously, still on track to be available next week around October 15th. Yeah, I guess we'll wait a little bit. Let's see if we get a question or two, hopefully, because there is a lot of interesting stuff that that is related to Lotus and Filecoin in general. It's just so much of it that it's difficult to to put it in a call just like that. Yeah, so let me I guess let me go through a few questions that I saw that are being asked relatively frequently. A number of you are just getting on the network and starting to to work with Filecoin, and often something that is being asked is I created a wallet, an address, and then when I try to do anything with it, it tells me that the actor does not exist. What this actually means is that when you create a wallet, all you do is you essentially generate a random number and sprinkle a lot of mathematics on top of it. But the chain actually doesn't know that this wallet exists. It springs into life the first time it is having any funds transferred to it. So in your case, you when you're a client and you're just joining the network and you have everything set up, you either need to go to some type of provider, like for example, PowerGate, or you need to PowerGate, who already provide you a provisioned wallet where there is basically some small amount of Filecoin, a portion of Filecoin, it's not even one Filecoin, which initialize your address, or alternatively, you, once mainnet comes online, you will need to contact an exchange to buy a few coins, or right now, while the competition is going for the next week, we still have a faucet available, which can disburse funds to a wallet once per sufficiently old GitHub account. So it's one question that's being asked pretty often. Another question is, if I put something on Filecoin from my client or from my PowerGate, can others retrieve that too? The answer is yes. You need to supply the party that will want to retrieve something from the Filecoin network three things. You need to say the miner with which a particular piece of data is stored, the what we call payload CID or data CID, which is the same CID of the content as the one that you would find on IPFS. It's literally the same type of hash. So for a file, it will be just the CID of the file. For a directory, it will be the CID of the DAG that represents this directory. And the third piece is the third portion of info that you need to give to somebody is the so-called PCID, which is a construct specific to Filecoin, which is yet another hash that is derived from the content when it is uploaded into your node to be transferred to the miner in question. So if somebody has these three pieces and they have some Filecoin, they can go and make a retrieval deal with the miner which is storing this data. And this is how you can effectively distribute your data to Filecoin directly. Of course, at present, we're still having a relatively high latency on retrieval. We are working on fixing that and lowering this dramatically to a point where Filecoin, the Filecoin network can be used as a direct CDN. Work is ongoing on that. I believe we are starting the security audits on the parts that will make this possible. So this will be available shortly after mainnet. Let's see. Another question that is often asked is by people who run their own nodes that our blockchain, the Filecoin blockchain, is relatively difficult to sync. At present, this is indeed correct. It is the blockchain is significantly larger than most other crypto projects out there. The main reason for this is that Filecoin is not a simple ledger. It is actually an application and a ledger in one package. So the ledger itself is what provides the main application that runs on Filecoin. Of course, in the future, we're looking to expand our actors virtual machine so it will be able to run other contracts essentially besides the storage contracts that we currently that we're currently implementing as part of mainnet. But the fact that the entire chain is coupled to its own utility is what it makes it relatively large. But in the latest releases, and in fact, in the release that's coming right now, essentially today, there is a number of significant improvements to sync times and we hope that if you have a node that is already syncing, that it will use even less resources and have even less trouble staying on track without without you having to spend a lot of money on a on an actual beefy machine to run this node. Of course, syncing from scratch is still a little bit of an open question. For the time being, we are providing a number of verified snapshots, and we're hoping to ship these snapshots to IPFS proper by the end of this week. So you will be able to pull chain snapshots using an using a quick IPFS node near you. We will have them distributed over the IPFS clusters, and you should be able to get from 0 to completely sync chain together with combining Lotus and everything in about half hour or less, which is pretty remarkable. And because we're going to be distributing these chains on IPFS, you could potentially take the chain snapshot and put it on Filecoin itself, because why not? Like chainception. Yeah. Let's see. Do we have any new questions? All right, no new questions at present. Cool. So let's see if there is anything else that I should share before we close this call for today. Yeah, I'm honestly drawing a blank right now. we have been so busy, and so there are so many conversations going on, and last minute fixes and tweaks while we were preparing for what's essentially the final week before our liftoff date when we go to mainnet. It gives little time to contemplate the sheer scope and scale of what we actually managed to build in I must say relatively short time. There has been a lot of complaints from various corners of the internet that it has taken quite long to get to where we are. But if you look at our amazing spec work that is documenting in very excruciating detail what does it take for such a network to operate and run, and what are the various simulations that had to be run through, and what are the various considerations that got into building what we call the cryptoeconomic model of Filecoin. I would say that 3 years is a relatively short time frame. I don't remember whether it was one of our calls with the community, or whether it was something internal, but a comment was made that the Filecoin economy has had more simulations of what happens if something, if we tweak this or that, than most smaller countries in the world right now. So it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive what the team has put together, and I can't thank enough to the developers and our researchers and our cryptographers and our our documenters, our amazing content team, who is actually bringing me to a screen near you right now, so that I can share my thoughts about what Filecoin is for the next 20 minutes. Yeah. Right. We're right now about 20 minutes in, and it seems that we won't have extra questions today. I suppose everybody is busy trying to build the new exciting the next new exciting thing on top of Filecoin, which is quite understandable. I mean, it is interesting, interesting and new area to build things in. So with that, I believe we will end this call a little bit early, and I thank very much for for listening to this recording if you happen to, and I'll see you on the internet.